April 7th, 1994. A warm afternoon in Memphis, Tennessee. The massive FedEx hub is buzzing with activity. A McDonnell Douglas DC-10, a heavy cargo jet, is being prepped for Flight 705 to San Jose, California. The flight crew consists of 3 men: Captain David Sanders, 49, First Officer James Tucker, 42, a former Navy fighter pilot, and Flight Engineer Andy Peterson, 39. They are relaxed, expecting a routine flight carrying electronics across the country. But there is a 4th person on board. Auburn Calloway, a 42-year-old FedEx employee, boards the plane as a deadhead passenger. He is carrying a guitar case. He places it carefully in the back of the flight deck, just behind the pilot seats. He smiles at the crew, sits down, and buckles up. The crew doesn't know that inside that guitar case, there is no guitar. Inside are 4 heavy hammers, a spear gun, and a knife. Auburn Calloway isn't going to San Jose. He intends to crash this plane into the FedEx headquarters, killing everyone on board and on the ground, to collect a $2.5 million insurance policy for his family. And he plans to make it look like an accident. At 3:06 p.m., the massive DC-10 roars down the runway and lifts into the sky. For the first 20 minutes, everything is normal. The plane climbs through 19,000 feet. The crew is chatting, disabling the fasten seatbelt sign. In the jump seat, Auburn Calloway quietly unbuckles. He walks to his guitar case. He opens it. The cockpit voice recorder captures the sound of heavy breathing. Then chaos erupts. Without a word, Calloway swings a hammer with full force into the skull of Flight Engineer Andy Peterson. Bone cracks. Blood splatters the control panel. Before the others can react, Calloway swings again. He strikes First Officer Tucker in the head, then Captain Sanders. In less than 5 seconds, all 3 pilots have suffered catastrophic, life-threatening head injuries. Their skulls are fractured. They are stunned, blinded by blood, and in shock. Calloway chose hammers for a reason. They don't sound like gunshots on a black box recording. He wants this to look like the crew died from blunt force trauma in a crash. Calloway expects them to die instantly, but adrenaline is a powerful drug. Despite having a fractured skull and a severed temporal artery, Flight Engineer Peterson lunges at Calloway. He grabs the spear gun just as Calloway tries to fire it. Captain Sanders, bleeding profusely, joins the fight. They are wrestling in the tiny, cramped space behind the seats. Meanwhile, First Officer James Tucker is alone at the controls. He is partially paralyzed on his right side due to brain trauma. He hears the struggle behind him. He knows his friends are losing. He knows Calloway is strong, a martial arts expert. Tucker realizes he can't help them physically, but he has the plane. He remembers his Navy fighter pilot training. He grabs the yoke. "I'm going to throw him off the ceiling," he thinks. Tucker pulls the massive DC-10 into a vertical climb. The G-forces slam everyone into the back wall. Calloway is thrown backward, giving Peterson and Sanders a split second to breathe. Then Tucker does the unthinkable. He rolls the cargo jet to the left. A DC-10 is designed to bank maybe 30 degrees. Tucker rolls it past 90, past 120, until the massive plane is almost completely upside down. He is flying a heavy cargo airliner like a fighter jet. Inside the cockpit, gravity goes crazy. The combatants, Calloway, Sanders, and Peterson, are pinned to the ceiling, then slammed to the floor. Tools, books, and hammers are flying everywhere like missiles. The air traffic controllers in Memphis see the radar tag of Flight 705 doing erratic loops. They think the plane is breaking apart. Tucker pushes the nose down. The plane enters a supersonic dive. The airframe is groaning, vibrating violently. The speed limit for a DC-10 is Mach 0.88. They are approaching the speed of sound. The wings are bending, the tail is shaking, but the plan works. Calloway loses his balance. He drops the hammer. Captain Sanders, despite losing a massive amount of blood, manages to grab the hammer. He strikes Calloway, but Calloway doesn't stop. He is fighting with the strength of a man who knows he has nothing to lose. First Officer Tucker is losing consciousness. His hand on the yoke is going numb. He screams to the captain, "Get him out of here! I can't hold it!" Captain Sanders makes a desperate decision. He leaves the fight to take the controls. He manages to pull the plane out of the dive just moments before the wings snap off. Now it's Tucker's turn to fight. Tucker, who can barely use his right arm, crawls out of his seat. He joins Peterson in the back. Together, two critically injured men wrestle the hijacker to the ground. Calloway is still fighting. He bites, he claws. But Peterson and Tucker pin him down. Tucker grabs a hammer and holds it over Calloway's head. "Stop, or I'll kill you!" he screams. Finally, Calloway freezes. The fight is over, but the danger isn't. Captain Sanders is flying a damaged plane, heavy with fuel, and he is bleeding out. He calls Memphis Center. "Emergency, attempted hijacking. We need an ambulance." His voice is slurred. He is fighting to stay awake. The plane is too heavy to land safely. Normally, they would dump fuel, but they don't have time. They are dying. Sanders lines up for runway 36L in Memphis. He is coming in fast, too fast. If he lands too hard, the landing gear will collapse. The fuel tanks will rupture, and the plane will explode. At the last second, Sanders flares the nose. The tires scream as they hit the concrete. Smoke billows. The brakes are glowing red hot. The plane shudders, groans, and stops just near the end of the runway. Silence. Paramedics rush the stairs. When they open the hatch, they are horrified. The cockpit looks like a slaughterhouse. Blood is on the ceiling, the windows, the floor. Auburn Calloway is handcuffed. The three pilots are rushed to the hospital. Incredibly, all three pilots survived. Sanders, Tucker, and Peterson underwent multiple surgeries. They had metal plates put in their skulls. They suffered permanent nerve damage. None of them ever flew commercially again. Their careers were over the moment the first hammer struck, but they were alive. As for Auburn Calloway, his plan failed completely. His family received no insurance money. Instead, Calloway was sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences without parole. He remains in a federal prison to this day. The crew of Flight 705 received the Gold Medal Award for heroism. First Officer James Tucker's aerobatics in a cargo jet remain legendary in aviation history. He pushed the DC-10 beyond its breaking point, doing things engineers said were impossible to save his friends. It remains the most brutal fight for survival ever to take place in a cockpit. A reminder that the most dangerous part of flying isn't always the machine, but the people inside it.